Okay, so this is where I want us to be, is in Google Classroom. I like to click it on classwork because it organizes things better for my brain. We're on narrative assignment. You can see that it is due Friday, February 5th. And the directions that I have posted say read the directions and example in Leggett narrative, and then write your own submission in narrative document. So press turn in when you're done. So let's open this guy up. I'm also going to do a triple check. Why does it say that you can edit it? Okay, it just says you can view the file. Okay, good. So this is where you need to be right now. And I will give you a link in the chat that takes you to this directions. Again, if you really like K-12 and it's your best friend and you don't want to leave it, I did put the directions in K-12, but I don't know that they're super awesome. Like, I don't think it formats it as nice. Okay, so this is where I want you to be, is I want you to have this open, and it says character, interview, narrative writing. It doesn't even have to say character interview. It's just narrative writing. Oh, that's cool. That's a fun fact. Put that in your phone. Okay, some of you were like, Mrs. Leggett, that's really small. I have good eyesight, but like, that's a little small. Beautiful. So I see 2 people who are in this. There are more than 2 people in this classroom. Open. Okay, so open this document in Google Classroom. This is where you want to be right now. For, who is this, Logan and Yvette? Ashley and Yvette, go ahead. Woo, my lights just flickered. Go ahead, scroll through for a second. So if you are in this right now, scroll through it, take a little skim, and I'll explain it in just a second once I see that more people are following. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have this document open, the Leggett narrative writing assignment. That's a lot of words, Mrs. Leggett. Yeah, I'll explain it. Don't worry. Calm down. Okay. Directions. So this piece is longer than a CER, so I recommend writing it in a Google Doc and then copying it and pasting it into a text submission box if you're writing in K-12, or submitting it via Google Classroom. I think submitting it in Google Classroom is going to be easier. That's my 2 cents. But I will put a link to Google Classroom like in the K-12 directions. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Pick one of the short stories we've read and explain what happened from 2 of the characters' perspectives. So tell each character's story as if you were them. Explain their motivations and actions from their point of view in their own voice. So consider a journal entry or an interviewer asking, what were your initial thoughts at the time? What were your motivations? Do you regret your actions? How do you think the other guy feels? Okay. So this is your prompt. Let's digest it. So we're going to pick one of the short stories that we read. There's only 2. So you're going to pick one of the 2, and you're going to tell the story from each character's perspective. You could do this as a journal entry. You can do it as an interview style. Maybe you rewrite the story from the character's point of view. There's options here, but I think that journal and interviewer are the easiest ones. Okay, so now how do you do that? I want you to use first person point of view. So that means I, me, we, are, those words. It should be about 300 words each, maybe like 300 to 500. That's about half a page. Don't start freaking out. So 600 to 1,000 words total. That's about a full page. Don't start freaking out. Okay. You can write more if you are so moved. I know some of you are like, yes, thank you, Mrs. Leggett. Please let's stick to size 12 font, Arial Times New Roman. This is what's called MLA format, so that's the official format when you're writing a piece. All right, so now we need to choose our story. So we'll pick either Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl or The Interlopers by Saki. And here's a list of the characters in the story to help you decide. So Lamb to the Slaughter characters are here. Mary, Patrick, and Jack. Remember Mary, she's a stay-at-home mom. She's pregnant. It's in the 1950s. And she's facing a completely ruined life based on this truth bomb that her husband drops on her. Patrick is ultimately unhappy in his marriage. He's also a detective. Forgot to put that in. Detective. Jack Noonan is the detective on the case, trying to piece together what happened to his friend and coworker. Now, if you want to do The Interlopers, here are our characters. We've got Ulrich von Gradwitz, and he feels that his neighbor's family has been trying to steal his land and has been poaching on it for generations. So legally, he legally owns the land. Okay. Georg Zeinman, he feels that his family's land has been stolen for generations and has therefore been poaching on it for generations because he feels that it was originally his to begin with. But we have another character, folks. We have the wolves, and they see all of the humans as interlopers and simultaneously as food. So I just made that kind of weird. Oh yeah, go back. So those are our characters, and what I want us to accomplish today is I want you to pick your story, and I want you to pick your characters, and ultimately, I want a couple sentences. So I'm going to give you an example of how this looks like written out. Miss Murphy and I have worked on this together. She wrote Patrick's, and I wrote Mary's. And we did ours kind of in interview style. So I'll walk you through that. But as far as today is concerned, you need to pick your story, pick your characters, and just start writing. Maybe we'll walk through some brainstorming things because we have just a little bit of detail, but I think it would be even more helpful to go through some more brainstorming things so that your writing sounds like that character, so you can really tap into that character's perspective and voice. Okay, so here's our example. What you will see on your side is that you have a name. You'll have date that you want to put in. This is freshman English A, technically. Character narrative, and then the story that I chose was Lamb to the Slaughter. Okay. So the interviewer says, tell me about what happened. And Patrick, this is really in his voice, okay? Here's how it is. There's this woman, beautiful, smart, a real dish. She's fun. But I've got this wife at home, Mary. In the family way, she chased me all over in her younger days, just crazy about me. Wouldn't leave me alone. Give her credit. She can cook like a Jiminy. Her roast lamb is to die for. So I also put in like how many words this is. So this is a jumping off example. This isn't a full example because you're going to be writing more than that. Interviewer. From Mary's perspective, actually, let's look at Patrick a little bit more. So what she's done is she's established, when I say she, I mean Mrs. Murphy, she's established his tone of voice. So he talks kind of slangy. He talks kind of like this. Like he feels like he's too good for his wife. Like he's too good for his job and his situation. She's putting this kind of arrogant jerk face persona into her writing. So then she would start explaining his motivation about why he decided to leave his wife. And then on Mary's point of view, we have the same question that the interview was asking. Mary, what happened? What happened? What didn't happen? I spend all day, every day, waiting on my husband, whom I love, hand and foot. I make sure to mix his drink the right way, to have things just the way he likes it. I like making him happy, but then he tells me he's going to leave me. I'm pregnant with his child. He would leave me in disgrace. Who would hire a woman with a child? Who would rent or loan to a woman? Women aren't even allowed to open a bank account. And he knows that I would have to live off whatever he decides is fine. I knew then I could no longer trust his judgment. And then, moving off of that, she would start going into her reasoning behind killing her husband, her reasoning behind, going to Sam at the grocery store. And they would explain things from their point of view. You know what could be fun? Is you could actually take Patrick and you could make part of him be like a ghost. So you could have like ghost Patrick talking from the dead. Okay. So here's some examples. These are really just starting off points. What yours would look like is a blank page that starts like this. So now let's go over to your blank page. Maybe you want to have 2 tabs open. I would recommend maybe have this tab open, have your assignment tab open next.